Hi, everybody. Kathy Tooley, Tools for Success CEO. Welcome back. Curtain number 5 today, the political reality of administrators. Oh, this one's a tough one too. So I want to talk about kind of like a secret that most administrators know. So I'm going to kind of let you really behind a curtain to tell you what every administrator knows and probably frustrates you sometime as a parent or as a teacher, but it's unfortunately the landscape that we now live in. And that is every decision that we make as an administrator puts sand in or out of an hourglass. I want you to get a visual for that. I want you to think of an hourglass. Every decision, every decision that you make as an administrator is either going to fill that hourglass or it's going to empty it. So if you want to stay long-term as an administrator, you better make sure that if you make an unpopular decision that's going to take sand out of that hourglass, that you have enough sand at the bottom to dump, or you will be gone. So I want to read something from my book, The Education System is Broken, Strategies to Rebuilding Hope, Lives, and Futures. Addressing the political portion of being an administrator in any building and how vital it is to the longevity of an administrator's career must be addressed. Every decision, every moment, every day has a political cost to the administrator, and that is often unfair and runs great administrators out of the building. I remember hearing early on that every decision I made would have a consequence. I've learned that since we were a child, right? You misbehave, you're going to get punished. You miss a curfew, there's probably a cost. I get that. That idea didn't seem lost at me or bothered me. What bothered me was when the decision is still being made by an administrator that's good for the school, but politically will make the wrong people upset. You have to make the decision that's best for your career. So every day an administrator is forced to choose, do I do what's best for the school or do I do what's going to keep me in a job? Now I want you to think about that. Administrators are forced because of the political landscape that we live. I can remember thinking in decisions that I made, will my local news pick this story up if someone would choose to report it? Not what was best for the students, not what was best for the kids, not what was best for my teachers or the building or the entire energy or way of being of the school. That didn't hit my radar often. And principals that don't last long are ones that make the right decisions for their schools because they will be run out. They will tick off the wrong person. And that doesn't exist in any other field. It just doesn't exist in any other field. There are supervisors walking around today that have made employees upset. And the employees decide, I don't want to work for this person, and they leave. But they're doing what's best for the building. They're doing what's best for the line or the manufacturing or the firm or the hospital or they're doing what's best. Educators aren't allowed to do that because everybody has a view of how to run a school. And therefore, if you don't fit the popular bill of how to run a school, you'll be run out on a rail. Let me give you how stupid of an example this is. One time I was standing in the hallway with a fellow administrator, just asked her, how do we decide where students' lockers are? New to the building, brand new principal in that building. And she explained to me that freshmen had one hall. I was a building principal at a high school. Freshmen had a hall, sophomores had a hall, juniors had a hall, seniors had a hall. And I said, we're just standing in the hallway. I'm just having a conversation. I said, Back at the school where I came from, we went where their middle of the day class was, closest to that, so that they could kind of drop books or drop their things off, and we're closest to that. Interesting. That was literally the conversation. I was no more thinking of moving a locker. I was just asking to understand. About 2 weeks passed, maybe more, and I got a phone call from my superintendent who said, Kathy, are you thinking about moving everybody's locker? And I said, what? Yeah, I just had someone name the person in my office that is upset because you're going to move kids' lockers. And I said, I'm not going to move kids' lockers. I don't know what she's talking about. And so I went down to the cafeteria. Ironically, it was lunchtime, and I was standing there with my assistant principal and repeated the conversation. And she said, Kathy, don't you remember a few weeks ago? And she repeated the conversation I just said. I said, are you kidding me? I wasn't going to move lockers. I was just asking a question. But the right kid heard that, went home and repeated it to a parent, and rather than come talk to me to ask why I wanted to move lockers, which I did not want to move lockers, this all of a sudden went to my superintendent's office. Now, lockers is a pretty benign conversation. Lockers is it just doesn't matter in the scheme of things. But that's what I mean by every single decision. If I had chosen to move lockers, which can I say again, I was never going to move the lockers, would have taken sand out of an hourglass. Moving lockers! Because parents have an opinion as to where their child's locker is, but they're not even in the building. So an administrator can't make a decision to move a locker, even if it's the best interest of the kids, which, by the way, I wasn't going to move the lockers. I've changed bell schedules and had an upheaval. You would have thought I murdered people. I moved a bell schedule by a couple of minutes so that the buses could get to the elementaries on time and get the elementary kids home on time. And you would have thought I caused World War III. And I could go on with countless other ludicrous, ridiculous, stupid examples just like that are happening every single day. So what does it do? It paralyzes our administrators. They're scared. They're scared. So they're not making decisions that they ought to be making that are in the best interest of their buildings and their skills because they're scared that someone's going to go tattle or call the media and tell them, I don't know that I wanted to move a locker. And some of you are watching this video right now laughing, saying, stop it, Kathy. I could give you 100 more examples equally as stupid, equally as ridiculous. Being an administrator and deciding that moving lockers, should I have decided, and again, I was never going to move the lockers, is in the best interest of the flow and function of our school is none of anybody else's business, except for the people running the building. I would never walk into my hospital, and I've done this before. Haven't you ever walked into a store and thought, that would make more sense if that door were over there, or wonder why they don't do the lines that way, or, that parking seems to be weird. I know you've had that thought. But you wouldn't call management and say, why aren't you moving your door? Why aren't you moving parking? That wasn't convenient for me because it's stupid. Just like you telling a building principal how to run their building is stupid. You are welcome to have an opinion. We encourage your opinions. We are always willing as administrators to look at other points of view and go, I never thought about moving that over there. That's a great idea. But whether I do or I don't as an administrator, either you trust me to do my job or you don't. And therein is where the curtain lies. So to every administrator watching this right now, and you're doing this, preach, sister, preach, sister. I know that I could give a lot more examples that are a lot more painful, but I'm just not going to go there. I'm just not going to go there because there's no reason. I'm not sure some of the people watching the video can handle it. But to those of you that are watching the video and think, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, welcome to a curtain that's happening. Welcome to a curtain that's happening. And that is the roles of our administrators have become political. Political in who we might tick off. So if you're tired of that and you want to start learning more about what's happening in our schools, my ask of you is this. Subscribe, like, share this video as we continue through these curtains about what's happening in our school systems. Thank you as always for coming along for the journey, and thank you for what you do every day. Have a fantastic day, everyone.